Kent and Liz, thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for being willing to share your story. Tell us a little bit about yourself, about your family. What do you guys do?
Okay, so I'm Kent, and this is obviously Liz, Kent and Liz Lersch. We have two girls, 16 and 13, Kirsten and Ella. They've been obviously involved in church. Love Front Range, are a big part of that family. And what we do is we have a custom home building company that we started about 13 or 14 years ago.
All right. Yeah. So before you started that, what was your profession at that point?
Started working for a Fortune 500 company, national home builder. Did well with them. We were there with them for almost 6 years, 4 promotions in 5 years, climbing the corporate ladder, kind of going through that process after getting out of the military. So that was going well, and that was the path we were on at that point.
So needless to say, being a part of a pretty large company, being pretty high up in that company, you guys were doing pretty well for yourself. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, definitely. Being part of that corporate world, we were at that point, assistant vice president for this company. Nice salary, lived in a really nice neighborhood, like most of us do here in Highlands Ranch. Had the vacations, the benefits, 401k, stock options, health benefits, pretty much all the things you would hope and you'd strive for, at that point, if that's the path you were on. So we were doing well, and we were comfortable. Yeah.
Would you say your lifestyle communicated that truth, that even if you have a lot, you still are like, man, I could have more. We could do more.
Yeah, I think the more you get, the more you want. So we got this car, then we're like, oh, we can need a bigger car, or, I think we kind of...
Yeah. I think it's like, with going through the promotion process, every time you got a raise, instead of having extra money, where you were planning to do this for either, retirement or set the money aside, it seemed like we were always acquiring more things. So even though you were making more money, you're also spending more money. So it seemed like, again, a very consistent path in that regard. But it was definitely a pursuit thing. And the corporate world was very much about next step. Yeah.
So if my memory serves me correctly, about 13 years ago, our economy had a little bit of a bust.
Yeah, I mean, it happened very rapidly, right? So it wasn't like a slow decline when the housing market, when the bubble burst, it happened quickly. So it went from having a very comfortable, safe corporate job to all of a sudden losing my job.
Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit more, that season of your life and what you guys did, because there's a lot of people right now that are very similar situation. They've lost jobs very quickly because of COVID. There's some people who have maybe just lost a part of their income, maybe not their job completely yet, but there's a lot of people going, I don't know what to do, and they're fearful. There's concern about the future. So unpack a little bit more about what was going on with you guys and what you end up doing in that season.
Right. So first and foremost, a lot of fear. Being a dad, being a husband, having been a provider, and having a very safe job between the military and the corporate world, a lot of unknowns. So certainly a lot of fear. So Liz and I, we did spend a lot of time praying, spending time alone and together, trying to figure out, what felt right. There was a lot about home building that I really loved, and that was an opportunity for us to start a business going down that path, doing it differently than, say, the national home builder was doing. But wow, that was a rough 2 years. Went from having, again, stable job, stable income, doing well, to having no income for almost 2 years, going through all our savings, cashing out our 401k, cashing out life insurance, taking out a lot of debt to essentially build homes to showcase what we could do as a builder. So, and having 2 very young children to boot, one that was just a baby. But looking back now, wow, what a blessing, 100-fold. But at the time, going through that season,
it was hard.
Very, very hard.
It was really stressful.
Yeah. I think it's fascinating because you mentioned, just trying to put the pieces together, that you were getting paid really well, had pretty much everything, the promotions and all of that. And then it was only basically getting let go, that's the nudge that forced you out, or else you wouldn't have gotten out. So talk to us, what did God do in that season in your heart, in your family? What did God do to you, for you, in you?
One of the big changes for us is, like, when we had a lot before, instead of, we used it on things, material and otherwise, versus being where we were and having nothing again, starting to rebuild. we've been really just so thankful for everything that we have. And Liz has always had a generous heart and really strong faith, but mine has also really grown over this time. But one thing that we really enjoy is the more we receive, the more we can give. And it's like literally impossible to give money away. If you have the true intention behind it. If you're giving money away because you want it to be returned, different story. But when I got into fear, be it in the business, when again it was cyclical, anytime I got into fear, what I would do to kind of lessen myself would be, let me give. There's always someone else that can need. There's always opportunities to give. But the more we're blessed, we feel the more we can bless others too. And it feels really good as far as the generosity. It's a big change in our lifestyle from where we were in the corporate world to where we are now.
With COVID, when we saw so many people struggling, we could empathize with it. I mean, we were there. We were in that same thing where all of a sudden, one morning you wake up and it's all gone. There was no warning that it was going to happen, and it just seems like COVID hit so quickly, and so many people were impacted. And it was nice to be able to reach out and help others, just because we could feel it. We could feel for them.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for sharing your story. It really means a lot. I know there's a lot of people that are struggling right now and going through some difficult times. So for you guys to be able to open up and share, hey, we've been there. Yes. And God will get you through it, I think will be an encouragement for a lot of people. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm happy to do so.